Welcome to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Tonight in Indianapolis, we now switch from the heavy favorite UConn has won and advanced to a pair of underdogs in a shootout between Washington entering the tournament unranked and the Orange of Syracuse enjoying the best season in school history. Undefeated UConn stayed that way in the first national semifinal, led by Morgan Tuck. 21 points for Tuck, and she's got those UConn seniors back in to the national final as they will go for a fourth straight title. That's unprecedented in college basketball. And who's it going to be joining them, the Huskies or the Orange? And welcome to Indianapolis. I'm Beth Bowens along with Doris Burke. Holly Rowe is also with us here tonight. And Doris, what a remarkable run it has been for both of these teams through the postseason to get to the Final Four for the first time. And no surprise that it's two fantastic guards that are leading the way.
Two dynamic lead guards who have been the driving force behind their team's arrival at this moment. We'll begin with the third leading scorer in the country. Kelsey Plum averaged 26 points in the regular season. She's right on that number in this NCAA tournament. They're going to put her in every kind of screening action. Yes, she can make threes. She's been to the line 293 times. And on a Syracuse team that doesn't necessarily value efficiency in terms of shooting percentage, Alexis Peterson has every bit of efficiency to her game. A terrific athlete, terrific handle, mid-range, in between, and at the rim. And they both bring sidekicks to the table, Beth, that are so important to Leah Walton, the fifth-year senior. So terrific off the bounce. And Brittany Sykes, 5'9", junior guard, so important to their pressure and success offensively.
40 minutes away from a shot at the three-time defending champs. Donovan McNabb was cheering for his niece on UConn earlier tonight. Now he's with his wife, an Orange alum.
Just move those left feet. Go ahead, get crazy. Anyone can do it. And show the world you got that fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. Show the world what you can do. Prove to them you got the.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day. And in part by Dick's Sporting Goods, proud to employ and support hundreds of Team USA contenders. And Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats.
Getting set for our second semifinal for the Washington Huskies, and Coach Mike Neighbors on the verge of becoming the lowest seed to ever advance to play for the national championship. It's the Capital One Meet the Players now for the Huskies.
My name is Kelsey Plum. I'm from Poway, California, and I eat during every single game. On the best timeouts, sandwiches, bananas.
Hi, I'm Alexis Ashley from Yorba Linda, California, and I have a leopard pillow pet that I take everywhere. Her name is Lulu.
My name is Talia Walton. I'm from Federal Way, Washington, and I am obsessed with dolphins. Like, I cry when I see one.
Hi, I'm Katie Collier, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, and I'm addicted to coffee. Always start my morning out with it.
I'm Chantel Osahor from Phoenix, Arizona, and I have a unique jump shot.
Well, Washington played Syracuse in November, Holly Rowe, and it was the defining moment in UW's season.
Well, that's right, trailing by 14 at the half. When Washington went into the locker room, Kelsey Plum and Talia Walton had to be separated. Walton said the team was frustrated that Plum, a volume shooter, didn't trust them or include them. She said it was a very difficult conversation to have. I want to love playing with her, but at that point, I didn't. Well, now they have come together as a group. Their motto is one. They would not be playing together and be here in this Final Four if they hadn't gone through that difficult time back in November. So Washington has Syracuse to thank for this appearance.
And now, Holly, it is just one win away from a spot in the final. Time now to meet the Syracuse Orange.
Hi, my name is Alexis Peterson. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I like to bowl. I've had a couple of 200 games. Yeah, I'm kind of official.
I'm Brianna Butler from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and I'm addicted to sneakers.
Hi, my name is Brittany Sykes. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and if I didn't play basketball, I would be a professional bowler.
I'm Isabella Slim. I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. We do a lot of bike riding in Amsterdam.
Hi, my name is Brianna Day. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I can cry on cue like no other.
Oh my
And Coach Quentin Hill's been enjoying the winningest season in school history, led by the winningest senior class at Syracuse, now in his 10th year. The Orange picked up their first NCAA tournament win just 2 years ago, Doris, and now the magical ride into the Final Four. And actually, the higher seed as a 4, as Washington comes in as a 7. They are in the dark jerseys.
Washington plays almost exclusively 2-3 zone. And they start out the game in exactly that defense.
Get used to seeing the 2-3 on both ends of the floor. Syracuse will play a lot of that, but the Orange also bring a lot of pressure, Doris. They want a much faster tempo tonight.
That is correct, and the more shots they can make, the more they can extend their pressure to 94 feet, Beth, and the more it takes a cumulative toll on their opponent.
Not a lot of depth for Washington. Syracuse would like to try and exploit that later in the game. Off the mark on the shot, Alexis Ashley.
2 first-time Final Four participants. You wonder how the kids are going to react. Will there be nerves?
Alexis Peterson short on the shot, and a second chance opportunity for the Orange. This is what their game is all about. Shoot threes, rebound, and shoot another 3.
That's exactly right, Beth. #1 in the country in turnover margin. They're going to offensive board it with great efficiency, and they're going to take a ton of threes, and they're unconcerned with field goal percentage.
They average 30 per game. They also average 10 makes from outside the arc. This is Kelsey Plum matched up with Peterson right there up top. Plum, number 10 in black, one of the top scorers in the country this year and averaging 26 per game here in the postseason. Plum around and out on her attempt. Isabella Slim hits the 3. That's certainly a good sign for Syracuse. A starter who usually doesn't stay in the game for more than 10 minutes.
And in 4 NCAA tournament games, has only taken 4 threes.
Talia Walton in and out. She has a 30-point game on her resume already in this tournament. Huskies were a 5th-place finisher in the Pac-12 conference this year, and look at the percentages. This was just the chance to reach the Final Four when the tournament began, according to 538.
And we're looking at a Washington team that was 26-10 on the season, 11-7 in the Pac-12, but a vastly different Pac-12 over the last couple of years. And in part, you can thank Washington coach Mike Neighbors for that, because of the information he has shared about scheduling, RPI, et cetera, et cetera.
#1 in the RPI this year, and not a coincidence, I don't think, that for the first time 2 Pac-12 teams made it here. Sykes scoops it up and in off the window.
And you've got to account for her. 5'9" junior guard, really athletic, long in their pressure, and this is going to be a charge. Really good anticipation by Slim.
They set the screen just over the midcourt line, and Kelsey Plum had nowhere to go.
Well, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? And she stood up and took the charge. That is great anticipation as you come over to half-court line.
5-0 lead for the Orange. Doris Burt quickly into her rap skills. In our second national semifinal.
I've exhausted the resource where that's concerned.
That's it, 1 and done. Day bothered on the shot by Chantel Osahor, the 6'2" junior out of Phoenix. And here's Plum with the push. Spinning inside, Katie Collier. Washington still begging for its first bucket. 0 for 5 to start out. Syracuse, a 3rd-place finisher in the regular season in the ACC, behind Louisville and Notre Dame, but then they made it all the way to the final of the ACC tournament before getting bumped by the Irish, the only team that has beaten them in their last 16 games.
Well, they're just playing with tremendous confidence. They know who they are, how they win, Beth. In this possession, you just had Washington on defense for a long stretch because of the offensive rebounds.
Get past the Walton. And there's the first bucket for UW here in their first trip to the Final Four.
I like that young woman. I think she's full of toughness, Beth. And I tell you, you're in a tough spot. I'd take Talia Walton with me.
Playing with a ton of confidence. She's averaging 20 per game in the postseason. Sykes looking for three. Osahore's got it. They immediately look to Plum. Denied by Peterson, so it's actually hard to the rim. And now Butler, she is the three-point specialist. They love to find her space in transition. Wide open look right here. Around and out.
Now she can really get it going, Beth. You'll see her make 5 or 6 in a row and change the equation. I know there was a period where she went through that slump coming into the NCAA tournament, but boy, in the moments that mattered, she was able to deliver.
Came up big for them in their upset of the top seed in their region, South Carolina. And that's the second charge taken by the Orange D. First foul on Chantel Osahore.
Well, again, this is a team that thrives on its defense, and that's just easy anticipation for Day. And I'll tell you this, she might give up size or girth at times over the course of the season, but what she does not lack for is toughness and competitive spirit, Day.
6'4" junior from Raleigh. Her twin sister Bria is the one that will come in off the bench to replace her. They tag team opponents, and Sykes knocks it down in the lane.
Washington spent a good portion of the first half hour of their practice dealing with this pressure, but not dealing with it here.
Forcing the turnover. This is Peterson. Sykes looking for the three. Got it. Dialed in. Assist to Butler.
And it's interesting, you know, we talked to Mike Neighbors this morning. We asked him about calling early timeouts, and he said, I'm not averse to it because the game can be over in the first 5 minutes. If they don't score here and there's not a dead ball, you wonder, does he use one the next time they possess it? You know, next dead ball is a TV timeout, but will they get there?
Plum to Walton. Lines it up for three.
Yeah, 2 answers. And again, you just love the rock-solid steadiness. And Holly mentioned it. She was the one willing to take on Plum. Say, listen, you've got to start to trust the rest of us. We can help you win.
And together they have been big trouble. Here's Walton with the steal. Airmailed the shot, and the Orange will come out with it. They always look to Peterson to bring it across midcourt and make the good decisions. She has really developed in this NCAA tournament. And probably who's got next behind Mariah Jefferson is one of the top point guards in the country next season. She's just a junior.
I just love both point guards and how they run their teams, know who they are, what their strengths are. And you see so many kids, Beth, scoring point guards, right? Not the prototypical set guards. And another basket now by Foundrin.
She beats the shot clock buzzer. 12-6 Syracuse. Furious pace here to open up the ball game, and Walton.
And one thing that happened at shoot-around this morning was Mike Neighbors said, listen, we're not running press break. We're running press offense, and that's an example of that.
Under 3 minutes to go. We'll take a timeout here with the foul. What do you say to your team on their first trip to the Final Four? We'll hear from both coaches in their pregame when we come back.
Don't give this game away by not playing hard enough. This right now, this time of year, you know what it's about. It's all about toughness right now. If you can't tough it out, guys, we have a problem. You gotta tough it out.
Big deep breath, okay? It's not like any other game. This is not like any other week any of us have ever experienced. Don't try to act like it's not. But when the ball goes up, it is. Okay? It's going to be 40 minutes. The team that plays the best for that amount of time is going to be the team that gets to advance to the next game. Okay? Big deep breath. Enjoy the moment. Let's play. Here we go.
The pregame speeches from Mike Neighbors and Quentin Hillsman on this. Their school's first trip to the Final Four. Syracuse wins the first 7 minutes plus, 12-9, the early lead here. Talia Walton has all 9 points for Washington. Brittany Sykes with 7 of the Orange is 12.
And it's interesting to me, Beth, that you put Talia Walton at 6'2" at the top of this 2-3 zone. She's got size, she's got great anticipation. She rarely lunges for a steal without getting it. And Plum, the smaller Plum, is on the bottom side of the zone.
And right now she's keeping an eye on Brianna Butler, offensive rebound for Syracuse. Day with a stick back.
Just again, they know who they are, and Day has terrific feet, really good feel for where an offensive board is coming off, and just positions herself perfectly.
Walton pulls up mid-range, in and out.
She's 3 for 6. The rest of the Huskies 0 for 5 so far in the first quarter. And only one shot attempt, as you see. Fondren get in the lane. Only one shot attempt for Kelsey Plum. So Syracuse doing the job defensively. And see, part of the issue is they're making enough shots to push up into pressure, and it's leaving Walton open here, but Plum is not getting a ton of opportunities. And this is a player who takes 20 shots per game with 293 free throw attempts.
First-team All-American. Next year, she could become the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history. Here is Plum on the drive. Gets inside. Can't knock that one down.
She will have an opportunity to pass Jackie Stiles to the top of the list in her senior season.
Butler. No conscience out there. Deep range on the three.
No, she just looks like a shooter, feels like a shooter, comes off the screen like a shooter.
Elsa Horn. The skip to Kelly Kingmer. Short on the shot. Long rebound to Peterson. And she's called for the carry. Third turnover for the Orange.
Now let's watch one of the key parts of what they do. The three-ball attempt, the screen by Day, and she is a big-time fan of Ray Allen. And look, other than the angle of the arm and the release point, obviously slightly higher on Ray's, pretty similar in form. She comes into this game with a chance to set a new single-season record for three-pointers. And right now, as Sykes misses the layup, Peterson will clean it up for her. Washington bothered by the pressure. It's a 9-0 run. They get two bodies every time on Plum when she's the ball handler. I just love the length, the activity, the schemes, the understanding that Syracuse has of all of their multiple defensive packages.
Look at Peterson trying to deny Plum. She is so good late in the shot clock. Here she goes. Lefty for three. Got it with 4 ticks left.
So capable of making those contested jump shots, because they did a great job getting down in a stance and staying between her and the basket. That's just terrific offense.
Peterson doesn't yet recognize the clock. Now she does. Fondren gets it up in time, and it goes. First quarter in the books. Syracuse with a lead over Washington, 23-12. Holly Rowe will chat with Husky coach Mike Neighbors coming up after the break. Got a couple of first-timers at the Final Four.
Well, Coach, you were just having a dialogue with your point guard, Kelsey Plum. What was that conversation about?
I don't think our poise is very good. You know, we've talked about trying to make chest passes, and we've come out 3 times in a row and tried to throw it over them. It's not what we talked about doing. Poise is not good, and as a result, we got a big deficit.
So how do you fix that?
Right over here in just a minute.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Well, Mike Neighbors then went to work in that huddle. Certainly can't be happy. 4 turnovers, 7 points off of that for Syracuse.
They have spent their entire preparation leading into this, Beth, talking about poise. Kelsey Plum has got 2 turnovers. Listen, on this season, this is a player with 151 assists, but 153 turnovers. So assist-to-turnover ratio, because they put so much pressure on her through double teams, through all kinds of defensive schemes, she's going to have some of those.
Here is what both of these teams are up against. When you talk about a 4 seed and a 7 seed, it's a tournament that's been dominated by 1 seeds. No team below a 3 has ever won a championship. So if either one of these gets into the final, well, certainly it would be one of the biggest upsets of all time to knock out UConn, but also would be record-breaking in terms of being the lowest seed to do it.
We have yet to hear on the offensive end from Chantel Osahor, and yet another turnover off the activity and trap.
Morrison and Peterson combining for the takeaway and the layup.
I think the athleticism and the speed and the trapping and everything that's coming at Kelsey Plum has got her shaking a bit.
Syracuse has already taken 21 shots, and they're going to get another one here. Peterson missed it. And now Plum in transition, looking for a clear look. One and done. No offensive rebounds, by the way, for UW in that first quarter. I think one of the problems, Chantel Osahor has been such a terrific scorer for this Washington team. But she likes sort of to go from top of the key to top of the key, be that trail three. But the speed and the close ability of Syracuse is negating her right now in that specific spot. Short corner, Brianna Day from Brianna Butler. Alexis Ashley, the skip pass is picked off, and a foul on Osahor at midcourt, and Butler may have had some knee-to-knee contact or a Charlie horse there, grimacing, and that, Doris, is now 2 on Chantel Osahor. Looks like they are going to keep her in the basketball game, at least for now. Collier comes back in. 4 boards, so she's been a factor on the defensive end of the floor, collecting rebounds, but we have yet to see her in the scoring column. They can't win without Plum and Osahor scoring. They just simply don't have enough, Beth. Maggie Morrison, the three-point specialist off the bench. Osahor able to snag the rebound, got over Day to get her 5th board. Now it's Sykes taking a turn on Plum. Boy, they are so fast, they negate screens. Walton has been their only option on offense so far. She's got 12, and she has hit threes from that particular spot, and Mom is loving life. Thomasina, that's my girl. She's got 12 of their 15 points here in the first half, and Fondren fouled on the drive by Ashley. Boy, think about where Washington would be if Talia Walton were not hitting shots. Again, facing the 2-3 zone, and this is where Osahor is a factor. This young woman has such a terrific feel for the game, such a talented passer, and Walton the beneficiary of an on-time, on-target pass. 6'2" senior from Tacoma. How about a kid who's your leading all-time shot blocker and also your second-best three-point shooter ever? She's got some skills inside and out. Speaking of out, Brianna Butler drains the deep 3. She gets it off in a hurry. Walton stripped, ping-pongs around. Day tracks it down. See, I think it's very hard to simulate the speed and the activity and the vast defensive looks you get from Syracuse. Sykes triple, that won't go. Osahor with a nice one-handed board, and the foul is going to be called on Brianna Day. That will be her first. Well, you can catch the Frozen Four's second game from Tampa as Denver tangles with North Dakota on Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2.